Hi, everyone. Welcome to Chicago Sports Tonight. Lou Canellis with you. I hope everyone's had an enjoyable Thanksgiving weekend with family and friends. I know the Bears did their part to bring in the holiday cheer, didn't they? Tina Nguyen from Fox joining us as always. 670 The Score's Leila Rahimi in the house. Good to see you, Leila.
You too.
Thanks for coming back. And CHSN's Clay Harper. This is your first time on the show, right?
First time for everything.
Welcome.
Appreciate you guys having me on.
Welcome.
Yeah.
By the way, Leila, I appreciate the effort you made to come back from California on a 6 a.m. flight today. Tina, I know you're salty. Yeah. I know you're salty about your Aggies losing to Texas. So I'm glad you're still smiling. And Clay, I know you played for the Eagles. Did it hurt to watch your Eagles get the ball run down their throats?
The last time the Bears beat the Eagles was in 2011, and I was playing against Brian Urlacher, Lance Briggs, Peanut Tillman. That's the last time the Bears beat the Eagles, and I had some flashbacks watching that game last night.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, let me lay it out right here. We're going to talk about today's games later on in the show, but the Rams lost to Carolina today, so the Bears and Rams with identical 9-3 records, tiebreaker, #1 head-to-head competition. Well, guess what? They haven't played this season. Division record is #2, but it doesn't come into play because the Bears and the Rams don't play in the same division. Common opponents, each team with 2-1 records. The fourth tiebreaker is the one that is in the Bears' favor. Conference record. Bears are 6-2 in the NFC. Rams now 4-3. So the Bears, as of today, November 30th, are the #1 seed in the NFC. All right, Tina, who had the Bears going 9-3 and being the #1 seed in the NFC on November 30th?
Vegas set the over-under at the beginning of the season at 8.5. I took the under, so I did not expect them to win this many games. I will say, though, the fact that one in Detroit, Dan Campbell, took over play calling tells you how much Ben Johnson meant to them. So, I mean, this happened because the Bears went out and hired Ben Johnson, right? You look at how creative he is with his play calling, especially with the run designs, right? You got a quarterback that can certainly has proven that he can win you games, a defense that continues to take the ball away just when we think, can they actually continue this and sustain this? But overall, it's the Ben Johnson impact that we are seeing here in Chicago.
Yeah, I was just getting used to first place Bears. Frankly, I was getting used to Bears being in the fancy graphic, you know, the one that shows them squarely in the playoff race.
Yes.
This is incredible. And I asked this question, I think, earlier. Just what is it going to take for people to understand the progress that this team has made? Good teams do this. Good teams are ahead of schedule. That's what we're seeing. And it does come down to coaching and being able to utilize the talent the way they have. They've taken advantage of every single opportunity in front of them. But to beat the Eagles in Philly, this is a whole new ball game.
Yeah, Clay, let me ask you, because you and I were just talking about this prior to coming on the air. At what point will the rest of the NFL and football, guys who do this for a living, prognosticate, when will they give the Bears their due respect?
Well, soon, I think that the Bears are coming into a Packers-Browns-Packers week. So if they go 2-1 here, which I think they can, split with the Packers, beat the Browns, they'll be in such a good position. The one thing I do want to say is it's pretty crowded at the top in the NFC. You got 6 teams with 8 or more wins in Week 13 for the first time since 2017. It's usually not this crowded at the top. So if you slip up, you could fall from 1 to 6. So the Bears got to keep going, keep winning. And there's one reason, well, 2 reasons why the Bears are in such good position. Lou, this offensive line is one of the best offensive line I've seen the Chicago Bears have in their history. They are moving guys. They're running zone. They're running duo. They're cutting it back. They're breaking tackles. It's a combination of the running backs and the O-line. This O-line is legit. I think they're the best offensive line in the NFL. And then turnovers. The biggest stat to tell the difference between wins and losses are turnovers. And the Bears are creating turnovers at a historic pace, leading the NFL in turnovers and turnover differential.
Yeah, 26 turnovers for the Bears. And right now that offensive line, as you said, maybe the best in football and the healthiest, which is always so important. Bears win this game on Friday. Let's go back and listen in to some of the post-game reaction.
We got guys that really care, and so we can do something special for Chicago. And the frustration comes in just because you want to maximize, you don't want to waste time, you don't want to waste a year or anything like that. And we haven't hit our pinnacle yet in the sense of a team and execution on offense. And we're still winning these games. And so that's really important. And that's why I'm extremely excited.
We don't really care about what the national narrative is about this team, man. We just go out there, whoever they put in front of us on our schedule, we just line them up, we try to knock them down, and I think we've been doing a really good job of that.
I think it kind of just knocks off some of the doubt that we can play against some of the better teams. I mean, again, everybody was saying about the records and winning teams that we beat, things like that. But again, I mean, it's an every week league. You got to come in, you got to show up, you got to outplay the opponent.
I would just say it's a long time coming. I've been here since the beginning, building everything up, and so I've seen the steps of offense, defense, special teams, just taking those strides and finally put it all together with the right coaching staff and everyone to have the mindset and the intentions that we do. It's amazing to see it unfold and do what we do.
All right, I want to talk about the running game because DeAndre Swift and Kyle Monangai became the first pair of Bears running backs in one game to rush over 100 yards since Walter Payton and Matt Suhey back in 1985. Really great. And the Bears had 47 carries in that game. And you listen to Ben Johnson, he said, man, I wish I would have run the football even more. How good is this running game? How surprised are you that they're running the football as well as they are?
I'm not surprised because when you look at the last few games, right, they've ranked top of the league when it comes to their rushing attack. What I love, though, and Clay, you can talk a lot about this, is Ben Johnson and the way he's designed some of these runs, right? He's moving guys at the line of scrimmage, right? Getting guys to move on the outside of the box on the defense. And all season long so far, we've talked about how good Vic Fangio is great at calling the defense there in Philly. It seemed like he didn't have an answer for Ben Johnson and what he was doing there.
How about the way they ran the football? Jump in, Leila.
I completely agree. And I was thinking about Clay when we were talking about this because the former tight end, you were right, Tina. The motions that they were able to use, specifically the wham block scheme with Cole Kmet, for example. Luther Burton at one point goes in front of Caleb Williams in the shotgun, then behind him. The way they were able to move people to create open running lanes. This wasn't just inside zone. This wasn't just outside zone. This was a total run attack using all points in the field.
You played the game. I mean, Ben Johnson is out coaching guys like Vic Fangio.
The thing he's good at, and he's talked about this, making the same things look different and the different things look the same, right? So at the end of the game, when you see Caleb on that play action pass when Cole Kmet gets open, people think, why was he so wide open? Because that's the same exact run play that they've run 5 times early in the game. You see Reed Blankenship, the safety, drop down. Cole Kmet, see you later, runs right past him. Caleb gets out and throws him a touchdown pass. That's because your running is so effective. These safeties have to suck up and really respect this running game. Like you guys said, you're moving the tight ends in motion. You got tight ends in the backfield. They're inserting into the B gap, the C gap to create advantages in specific ways. They're using Caleb's legs in specific ways. One stat that I really love that I thought told the story of how good this running game is, the Bears rushed for 100 yards before contact. That's more than the Eagles rushed for altogether, and 185 after contact. They've done that twice this season. No other team in the NFL has done that once according to Next Gen Stats. What does that tell you? They're blocking, you're getting space, and the running backs are running hard. I love this dynamic duo, the thunder and lightning between Swift and Monangai. They really complement each other well, and it's tough for a defense when you have to prepare for 2 styles. One style is a shifty, quick guy that can cut back in zone. Another one that goes more downhill and hits it hard. It's very difficult to prepare for 2 running backs. You only got so many snaps per week in practice, and that makes it hard.
Ben Johnson created Sonic and Knuckles in Detroit, and now he's got Thunder and Lightning here in Chicago. Let's listen back to the way that running game worked on Friday.
Can't say enough about that running game. I don't think we win that game if we're not able to run the ball like we were. Both the backs over 100 yards was just outstanding. You could feel decisiveness. You could feel them hitting it downhill. They turned on the gas and were lowering their shoulders too. So that was so good to see.
We said we're going to win the game up front, and that means running the ball, pass protection, holding up, and pass pro. So we knew we were going to have a heavy dose of run, and we said we're up for the challenge. That's the goal going into any game, though. Especially if we know we're going to run the ball, we want to wear them out. Make them not want to tackle us, and be able to have control of the game and control the clock too. We keep the possessions long, and maintain control of the game basically.
Leila, before we close out this first segment, I want to ask you about Caleb Williams because Ben Johnson at the beginning of the season set a goal for Caleb to complete 70% of his passes, and the number's nowhere near 70%. Matter of fact, on Friday, his completion rate was below 50% for the first time this season. But but he still had some big throws in that game, a couple of big runs. What would you rather have, the big throws and big runs or the completion percentage up near 70?
I'm a very basic girl. I love the I formation that they run out of on occasion. If I could run, pass every day in the NFL, I probably would. I'm okay with this for now. Keep in mind, his former quarterback played in a dome in Detroit. That was the exact opposite of what we saw the conditions were at the Link in Philly on Friday. That was a wind game where you had to game for that specifically. The numbers will bear out what the situations are in each game, as well they should. You can have that goal of 70%. I'm A-okay if they don't reach it because we're seeing progress out of this offensive unit as a whole.
All right, I want to throw up this full screen before we close out this segment, and it's on Caleb Williams. Williams has 8 wins with less than 60% completion rate this season. No other NFL quarterback. How about this, guys? And I know that, Clay, you love these types of little stats. No other NFL quarterback has more than 3 wins with less than 60% completion rate. Last 20 seasons, only 3 quarterbacks have 8+ such wins, and all of them reached the Super Bowl. Cam Newton, Eli Manning, and Rex Grossman.
Book your tickets to San Fran.
I mean, are you kidding me? There is the opportunity there for this team. Who knows? Maybe to go to Santa Clara. You got to fly into San Francisco and then drive to Santa Clara.
You heard about the hot dog thing with you taking your shirt off?
That's been mentioned. It's a little disturbing. Why would we want to see that? I'm a man of the people, so time will tell.
I know you guys are hungry for more, right? Itching. Let me tell you something. The city of Chicago's hungry too.
Yeah, Chicago's hungry, and Wiener Circle is going to pay to feed all of us Bears fans out there. Wiener Circle posted on social media, is this real life or is this just fantasy? Thanks to Ben Johnson, Wiener Circle is buying lunch again for all of us on Tuesday. Our Bears discussion brought to you by High Definition by Xfinity, introducing the 5-year price guarantee, one consistent internet price for the next 5 years. Guaranteed. Clay, fat guys like us can't wait to go to Wiener Circle on Tuesday.
He's not eating a hot dog.
He's not eating
Clay
hot
does
dog.
not
I'm going to Ben Johnson. Don't take that.
Okay,
And
no,
he's not eating cheese fries either.
What about the intro, though? That was he must have practiced that.
Oh,
that was way too smooth of an
Chicago's
intro.
hungry too. I didn't see that part, but so cool that he did that. And I might go there. I'll eat a hot dog occasionally.
All right.
Can I say, I was talking to the manager at Wiener Circle. They said they're preparing for over 3,000 free hot dogs on Tuesday.
Well, by the way, if you're going to Wiener Circle to get a hot dog, you'll be standing out in line in the cold. It's supposed to be 20, 25 degrees. Can we talk about the run defense and the job that run defense did against Saquon Barkley?
Oh my gosh, just so impressive, right? And I think you look at what DA has had to deal with throughout this whole entire season, the injuries, second straight game, right, where they didn't have multiple linebackers there. But also, too, and Clay, you can talk about this. The fact that the Bears have 2 good corners, that allows someone like DA to really load the box more, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Your cornerbacks, you're able to send pressure.
Right.
Getting some of these cornerbacks, you're able to send pressure. The Bears averaged throughout the season 27% blitz rate. Against the Eagles, on all their passes, they sent a 45% blitz rate. That shows confidence in your cornerbacks, confident that you're able to run man-to-man defense, stack the box, and they knew they had to stop Saquon Barkley. So that was very impressive. I think DA didn't get enough credit for what he was able to do against this Eagles offense. I know they've been struggling. They're not the Eagles offense of old, but DA had a heck of a plan. DeMarco Jackson, Amen Ogbongbemiga, both those guys showed up again, third-string linebackers that were able to stop Saquon Barkley.
All right, let's listen in to some of the defensive guys from Friday's game.
Now, obviously, you always treat every game like just another game, but I will say it meant just a little bit more. But no, man, it was just an awesome win, great team win. This game, we knew it was going to be one in the trenches, and I think we did that pretty good. I looked at the stats before. Jalen only threw one pick this season, so I took it as a challenge to try to go get one, and you can even watch the film on mine. I had to really go get it, and Shawnee made a crazy play to pull out, to strip the ball and recover it on the touch push. So, like I said, we talk about, man, that's the reason why we're the best in the league at taking the ball away.
A lot better for me to be able to be here and contribute and I would just say see it and feel it in person. I think really through the TV screen, it's kind of just watching the team from afar. So I think now being able to be in this atmosphere and even just being at the last couple of games, being able to be there and support the team. So it feels really good being a part of it.
Amazing. It's been a long time coming. Just to be back with the boys, get on this train of winning. It feels great.
Leila, I'm telling you, I called it when it happened back on Friday when Nahshon Wright stripped the ball out of Jalen Hurts' hands on that tush push at the Bears 13, and then they turn around and go down and march, 87 yards with Monongai finishing it off with the touchdown. I said, that is the biggest play this season.
The whole thing. It was a response drive, and you couldn't draw it up any better if you're coaching. First of all, to know to take that ball away. When Dennis Allen said earlier in the week, we have a plan, oh man, did he ever have a plan. Brilliant out of him. The Bears leaned on what they do well, and that's why they were able to stop a play that was almost automatic in the NFL, as we know. But then, to ensue the drive and have Kyle Monongai just rip off a 31-yard run, that was jamming it down their throats. That was exactly the type of response. And keep in mind, all of this was in light of an interception that happened prior off the screen. To respond that way, the entire team, you can't ask for much better.
Yeah, Byard leading the league right now with 6 interceptions. Let's throw up this full screen because what Nahshon Wright and Kevin Byard are doing is just crazy. Bears are plus 17, second in turnover ratio. Houston, the Bears have almost doubled up the rest of the league. I mean, it's crazy. And it had me thinking, Clay, what are they going to do when everyone is healthy in that defensive backfield? What are they going to do next season? And I know, Lou, one thing at a time. Let's go out and win the NFC North before we look ahead to next season. But they've got, riches now in that defensive secondary.
You cannot take Nahshon Wright off the field. This guy is leading the NFL in takeaways. He has 5 interceptions, 3 forced fumbles, and I was a critic of his run defense early in the season. Al Harris deserves a medal because he's got all his cornerbacks playing in the run game too. He's coming up, he's in force, he's ripping fumbles out on the tush push. He is playing all-around cornerback. I know he gave up that touchdown to A.J. Brown, but that was like that Top Gun move. A.J. slammed on the brakes, Nahshon goes behind him, he scores. But this guy's been playing some excellent football. I think it's Jalen, Nahshon, and then Tyreek comes in off the bench. I think he's a guy you need there. And then obviously Kyler Gordon and C.J. Gardner-Johnson. How do you utilize those two guys? I think you'll see a little bit more dime personnel groups because, as D.A. said, you want more guys. You want your best players on the field, and those two are 2 of your best players.
When you have such talent in that defensive secondary, you can be patient and wait for your linebackers to get healthy, right, Tina?
Yeah, no doubt about that. And again, even seeing Kyler Gordon, Jalen Johnson come back, the way DA is able to utilize some of those guys and really limit the run game of Philly right there just shows you the kind of impact and the depth that they have now, too, with your CJ, GJ, and Nahshon Wright.
Yeah, I love what Spencer Rattler said earlier in the season when he said that Dennis Allen likes to junk up the front. We know what that means. Double safeties sometimes. You don't know what kind of look you're getting. And these guys want to do it. They're willing blitzers on this defense in the secondary, and it's been really fun to watch them enjoy being able to make some of these plays.
Before we close out this segment, I'm going to ask all 3 of you, give me an MVP on this defense. And I know it's tough to pick one guy, but if you were to pick one player on this defense, who would it be?
I mean, I feel like Kevin Byard initially, he's kind of playing like, the 2017 Kevin Byard when he was in Tennessee with the Titans. But Nahshon Wright, I mean, he makes, it feels like the last 3 games, a game-changing play for this team.
Clay?
I mean, I got to go with Kevin Byard, leading the league in interception. He's been excellent. But I would say Dennis Allen. Obviously, he's a coach, but the way he's been utilizing these players, he cross-trains them in all these different positions. Mm-hmm. So now when you're a tight end, you have Jalen Johnson guarding Dallas Goedert. You don't look for that matchup when you're watching film. He's able to move these guys all around the formation. You don't know who's guarding you. You don't know which direction they're coming from. The way that he cross-trained them to play all these different positions has been excellent, and it's paid dividends this year.
Got to be Byard, who's been so consistent. He was the first one of the Bears to lead the league in interceptions. He's been doing a tremendous job.
I agree with all of you, and I think Byard's leadership in the locker room can't be overlooked as well. It's something this Bears organization has missed since that 2018 team. Our scores around the NFL and NFC playoff talk brought to you by your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Kia dealers. Visit kia.com to discover movement that inspires. Leila Rahimi from The Score, Lou Cadellis, Tina Nguyen, Clay Harbor from CHSN, nice enough to join us today. Week 13 scores. Packers knocked off the Lions on Thanksgiving Day. Jordan Love tossed 4 touchdown passes. Packers have won 3 in a row. Carolina upset the Rams today. If you're just tuning in, Carolina upsets the Rams 31-28, dropping LA to 9-3 and second in the NFC playoff seedings behind the Bears. We showed you this full screen earlier. It's worth another look. Even though both teams are 9-3, Bears own the tiebreaker over the Rams. Bears still play the Packers twice, Cleveland, the 49ers, and Detroit to wrap up the season. Rams play 3 of their final 5 games away from LA on the road, including a Week 16 matchup in Seattle. Packers week always has juice, but now, boy, this one is a big one for the Bears, isn't it, Tina?
Oh, yeah, no doubt about that. I mean, this is, you see them not once, but twice in the next 3 weeks. And as you mentioned in the break here, you've got 3 straight weeks where you're dealing with really great pass rushers. I know it's a rivalry game, but this also has playoffs at stake now, too.
Clay, when you're getting ready for Micah Parsons, twice in 3 weeks, and then in between those 2 Micah Parsons games, you've got Myles Garrett. Tell me, is this offensive line prepared for pass rushers, 2 of the best in football?
There's one position that I'm a little worried about, and that is left tackle. Ozzie Trapillo did not have the best game. I mean, he played okay. He's just not quick enough to block somebody like Micah Parsons or Myles Garrett. He needs some time. He needs a little bit more work.
And you never know where Parsons is going to line up.
He'll line up
right?
anywhere. He'll line up anywhere, but they will point out that weak link. It's where's Waldo? Where's the weak link? And that's where they put Micah Parsons. There's been one player to start his career with 5 years of 12 straight sacks, 12 sacks in 5 seasons. His name's Micah Parsons. I mean, this guy's just different. So you're going to need a lot of help chipping with their tight ends, your running back, slide protections, get Caleb on the move. He's really good about getting outside the pocket. And I'm confident in Ben Johnson for knowing how to scheme a player like Micah Parsons.
Yeah, I think I joked earlier you might have to go 14 personnel. I don't think that actually exists. But this is you say that, of course, tight end. But this is going to be a game where you have to utilize that extra blocking. You might have to go max protect. The edges, unfortunately, have been the weak link for the Bears, and we've seen that previously. Unfortunately, with Darnell Wright, we've seen it also with the left tackle. So that means who are you going to help? Pre-snap motion again, huge. I want to see more rollouts. I completely agree with you. I think they could have done more in the past 2 games. That's going to have to be how you neutralize a absolute beast like Micah Parsons.
All right, I want to look at the Lions real quickly before we close out this segment. I don't know if you guys heard, but Frank Ragnow was talking about coming out of retirement, and then he couldn't pass a physical. Grade 3 hamstring injury. That really doesn't help the Lions. They're a team that, if they don't win quickly, they're going to fall right out of the playoff picture, right?
How heartbreaking is that? What a roller coaster that must have been for that team. Ragnow comes out of retirement, everybody's hype. I'm getting texts about that, you know, the graphic and how excited people were. And then the next thing you know, just the agony of defeat of an injury report.
So deflating right there to have one of your superstar leader players. You think he's coming back. You were 6-2 against the Packers. Then you get swept in the season series for the first time for Dan Campbell. Things aren't looking good. You think Ragnow's coming back. It doesn't happen. They're in a really tough spot.
You think they'll make the playoffs?
I don't think they'll make the playoffs. I don't think Dan Campbell's an offensive coordinator. He needs to stop going for it on 4th down so much. The predictability of it is gone. The last 2 games, he's 0 for 7 on 4th down. I'm sorry, Dan. It's not working anymore. He's my former tight end coach when I was with the Saints. I love him, intelligent guy, but he has to learn how to evolve and not do that anymore and play more conventional style of offense.
Tina, you said it. They miss Ben Johnson in Detroit, don't they?
They absolutely do. And right now but Dan Campbell said they've dug themselves in a hole. They have a tough remaining schedule. They want any chance at making the playoffs, they got to win now, and that just seems like it's going to be tough.
Crazy day in college football. The coaching carousel leaving heads spinning. Lane Kiffin leaves Ole Miss for SEC rival LSU. anyone here in their right mind think that Kiffin was going to pass up $84 million and not go to Baton Rouge?
Absolutely not. I mean, he's put in the time, as we know. He's had a circuitous path to get here. This is Lane's world, and we were all just living in it.
Yes, we were.
Money talks, especially in the SEC, and I know that because I am an Aggie. And yeah, I mean,
your Aggies are still paying Jimbo Fisher, aren't they?
$8 million a year until 2033. Oh my goodness!
Wow.
But, no.
Speaking of coaches getting jobs, former Northwestern head coach looks like Pat Fitzgerald will get the Michigan State job. Clay, what a great gig for Pat, who was found innocent of all the wrongdoing that took place at Northwestern, and now gets an opportunity to get back into coaching.
Yeah, I think this is a good situation for him. Obviously, he was 4-20 in his last 2 years at Northwestern, but I think this is a program who started off 3-0, but just couldn't win a game in the Big Ten. I think Pat Fitzgerald knows this landscape. He knows the Big Ten. He knows what it takes to win in this league. He's got a winning record in this league, so I think it's a good spot for him.
All right, what's a good spot is being in Indy this coming Saturday for the Big Ten championship between Ohio State and Indiana. Anyone here, anyone think that Indiana can beat Ohio State? Don't all speak up at once, really.
As an MBA student at Indiana, I got to go with my college here. I'm going taking IU to beat Ohio State for nothing more than just, being an IU student.
Okay.
He's repping. He's repping. Listen, Ohio State completely dominated Michigan yesterday. It's hard to believe that they're gonna.
Who's got the better quarterback?
I almost think to some fans that game, Ohio State, Michigan winning that game meant more than the national title. They slayed their dragon.
Yeah. By the way, how do you feel about Texas Tech moving ahead of your Aggies in the AP college football
How do I look
poll?
like I feel about
You
that?
You don't look happy. One final note. Did any of you guys see this? Check this out. George McCaskey, Fly's coach, gave this card to an Eagles fan on his flight to Philadelphia before Friday's game. The card read, "Dear friend, there is still time to save yourself. Go Bears." I love George because he is such a fan. I've known George forever because George used to be the ticket boss for the Bears, and I've been a season ticket holder since they moved from Wrigley Field to Soldier Field. I love your passion, George. I love it. That is it for Chicago Sports Tonight. For Tina, Leila, and Clay, thank you guys for coming on out. I'm Luke Canellis.